home advantage for the first semi-final next week, regardless if they win or lose. But for Exeter, it is imperative they get the win to get that home advantage, as they've been inviting Saracens.
One of the best referees in the business, Sarah Cox, on the whistle this afternoon, as Sophie Bridger gets things underway. Bridger and Blackburn in that 9-10 axis. Interesting to see whether it changes the way that Gloucester-Hartpury play. Certainly won't change the way that the Chiefs are playing. Hope Rogers gets her first hit into contact, back from that suspension, 2-game suspension. On the charge comes Charlie Jacobi, fellow USA Eagles prop, of course. Exeter go wandering into opposition territory for the first time.
No, leave, Raj, leave!
Again, Hope Rogers waiting in that midfield, always seems to make yards over the game line, as does this lady, Rachel Johnson, another USA international. It's an all-American affair at the moment, because there is Gabby Cantona. The continuity was great up until that last moment, but good early start from the Chiefs.
Yeah, really good spell of possession there, wasn't it? Seeing those strong ball carriers like we know, Hope Rogers, great for her to be back in. She's been missing the past 2 rounds, but what an asset she is for them. Such a strong ball carrier. Unfortunately, couldn't make a most of that breakthrough there, but that's pretty much a sign of what's to come from the Chiefs.
Now this is going to be a real area of interest this afternoon, because on the home front row you've got Muir, Powell and Delgado, and it's a North American trio for the Chiefs with Hope Rogers, Titosi and Jacobi. Jacobi making only her second start in Exeter colours, her first start indeed since the end of January. Bradley showing her versatility once again, playing in the 15 jersey. McGovern hangs it high, but plenty of time there for Lizzie Goulden. Blackburn,
good counteract, ball's out!
Trying to get in there, and the ball comes out to Nicola Friday.
Tackle!
The Irish captain, such a key character, let alone player, within the visitors' setup. McGovern. On the charge comes Ebony Jeffries. McGovern, who has made such a difference to the way that Exeter can play this season. Jacobi gets through one.
Ball's out.
Presentation is not good.
You've got to stay on your feet. You're within the 1 metre, you must be on your feet when you collect the ball.
Early penalty advantage there from the Chiefs again. A lot of possession, a lot of strong carries. Gloucester-Hartpury just getting a bit frantic, desperately trying to turn that ball over, get them out of their half. But this is a good choice, I think, for the Chiefs. Go for the points now. They've had that spell of possession, they've poked, they've prodded, they haven't quite got through, so come away with some points from it now.
So Liv McGovern with the first opportunity of points, right in front of the post, some 25-26 metres out. Swings it round. down, swings it through, and swings Exeter Chiefs into an early lead.
Yeah, never really in doubt there for McGovern from that position in particular. When it comes to the kicking stats for points, Chiefs do just edge it, and it could be one of those really tight affairs that could just come down to something like penalty points.
Particularly with no Flaky George in the group for Gloucester-Hartpury.
Oh, you're going that way. I thought you were going that way.
So great. Pass just dipping a bit on Katie Buchanan, but she does well. Rogers, head down and drive. Lillicrap does well just to stall her progress, but it's still there for the exit. McGovern just with that little juggle, getting the kick away, but it's going to allow the Cherry and Whites to come up into Exeter territory.
Knocked on.
Bridger has the ball stripped. It's stayed her side as Goulden steps in. Blackburn again. The lack of pace on the pass, allowing that black line to move up so easily. Sam Monaghan trying to change that dynamic, but look at this.
Leave it now, leave it Black. We're all off our feet.
Blackburn now inside her own half. Little dribble kick there through, working. Matthews up in support. Great kick from Goulden. Having her third start at 15, but 4 starts have been at fly half, including that first game against Exeter in round 1. There's the break. Maud Muir finds McGovern hanging on to her feet, but still takes Gloucester for the first time into the Exeter 22. Monaghan gets the call. Oh, the little show and go. And Bridger breaks the bagel for Gloucester-Hartpury. And we've not had 7 minutes on the clock yet.
And the audience are absolutely loving that. You know, seeing Sophie Bridger in at 10, some people like it, some people don't. They think it's going to inhibit her. They much prefer seeing her out in the wider channels, out in 13, where she was last round. But actually, you can see she's that type of fly half. She'll do the job that needs to be done, but she's got that reactional play. But look at this for the initial bust, first of all. Her strength, brilliant carries. But then it's the quick ball that they were able to get from it, which they haven't had so far. But that was the one. That gave them momentum. Look at that from an arcing run. Came onto it like a blindside winger. Round the back. Lovely gap.
Great start from the hands for the home side. Didn't manage to get the extra 2 off the tee. But yeah, Bridger seems to have this all-court game that allows her to play so well in so many different positions. She's played at 12, 13 and 14 this season. This is her second start in the fly half berth. Take from Brooke Bradley. Maisie Allen. The alignment not good for the visitors, but they will get the call from referee Sarah Cox. Poppy Leach presumably asking McGovern to send them back towards that home 22. So line out opportunity for the Chiefs. Emily Tuttosi, the Canadian number 2. Just outside.
Hang on, right, Gloucester have got the line.
Gloucester
Okay,
22.
Exeter, step over. Step over. Step over.
Leach, the front jumper. Friday at the back, but it's Leach who sets it there for Allen. On the charge comes Cantona. And the front football setting up Exeter Chiefs for this attack inside the 22.
Out you go.
Matthews getting in there. but not rolling away quickly enough. Chiefs threatening the line and getting the call. The finish is good from the Exeter Chiefs, and they're back in front.
Lovely bit of play there from the Chiefs. Really nice setup off the line out, particularly how they work their pod structure. So quite often when you see forwards out on the line out, you think it's going to go to them first as a carry, but they didn't. They used Cantona on the first ruck, kept the forwards out to be able to ruck on the second and third, which gave them that quick ball, which gave them that edge. And then, can you believe, Hope Rogers, she appears in the wide channel more than a common fullback. I mean, she is brilliant. Her work rate, her effort to get out there in those channels. She's hard enough to defend when she's in front of a pot of forwards, but when she's up against the backs, you always know she's going over.
That's a dozen 5-pointers for the Exeter Chiefs. Loose head. Just seems to come up with the goods at the critical time, does Hope Rogers. McGovern. Good contact and a good kick. That is two very important kicks from the tee for the Kiwi kick up from the visitors.
Right, which way are you going? Okay.
I think we've got to sign how this game is going to go.
Yeah.
And it's going to be entertaining.
Certainly is. 2 tries inside the last 3-4 minutes. Bridger sends it back to her opposite number. Call comes from Rachel Johnson. Johnson's physicality giving her the number 8 shirt once again. Kate Zachary out in the centres. I think she's played more in the centres probably than that number 8 this season.
All back.
USA captain. 12th game at outside centre. Only played 3 at 8. Turnover ball though for the opposition. Blackburn. Goulden coming in as that playmaker. Quick transference out to Ellie Rugman. Nowhere for her to go though. Good support coming in from Karen Lake. Great to see her back on the park. Gloucester finding some momentum. Connie Powell. Blackburn ordering Tupelotu coming round with a bit more than a rumble in mind. But great work from the Exeter Chiefs defence, but I'm not sure that wasn't Gloucester-Hartpury almost shooting themselves in the foot there.
Yeah, it looked a little bit scatty, didn't it? Especially towards the outside edge. But credit from Chiefs, they held strong, they kept their defensive line, they weren't opened up. Look, not coming up with huge urgency there, sticking on players, waiting for the opportunity, look, to go in for that ruck.
The restart hasn't gone as far as they'd hoped, and it just gives the home side another chance to batter the black line. Bridger throwing it wide. Comes loose though, Zachary it is. Zachary gets the ball. It's a foot race from 45 metres and nobody is going to get to Kate Zachary. Superwoman does it again. Doesn't need a Kate this time, but another very significant try from the visitors.
Oh, Kate Zachary, just stop it. We liked you when you played 8. Now you're playing 13. You've unleashed this whole new side of you. Absolutely fantastic. Is that her 17th try now?
It is. She only scored 16 last season, but maybe playing out in the centres allows her a few more opportunities, though, the way she plays. You wouldn't know it, would you?
It's absolutely brilliant, but it all came from their defence and that turnover. Like you say, maybe Gloucester-Hartpury just shooting themselves a little bit in the foot there, trying to force it, trying to get it onto that outside edge, that ball way too high. Zachary straight on it with the boot. And you know what, sometimes the balls bounce ugly, but that is pretty much perfect bounce.
Yep, everything she could have wished for came to pass.
Space looking good. Space looking good.
So Liv McGovern comes over to this near side for a change. She's been right in front, she's been out to the right, and now she's out to the left. Bit of a breeze coming behind the Chiefs in this first half. That affects the trajectory of this kick. Whoa, that is immaculate kicking from the tee from the former Matatu halfback, and that is everything that Susie Appleby could have wanted pretty much from this opening quarter of an hour. Have a look at this again. Again, Zachary showing her footballing skills and getting the bounce that she was striving for, and Exeter Chiefs getting the start that they were after now. McGovern again gets the call from Johnson. Quick transference. Flo Robinson, known for her sharp presentation of the ball for her halfbacks and indeed the props when it's Hope Rogers. There she goes now. Robinson up over halfway, looking for support. Little bit isolated, but Cantona comes in. Exeter just need to set, and they just losing their heads. Charlie Jacoby, I should say, beg your pardon, just getting ahead of the pass, and the moment is gone. But once again, you see the Chiefs so quick to pounce on loose ball opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just classic Susie Appleby influence. You know, I was lucky to be coached by her back in the day when it was Clifton, then became Bristol, and she was always about reactional rugby. Play what you see in front of you. If it's on, go. And that is what we are seeing here from Chiefs. Majority of their tries do come from a turnover. So it's not structured play, not a line out like most teams. It's from turnover.
Sean Lynn.
Right, I know.
Hartpury coach was talking to me all about momentum. He knew he had to change a few. Here's the scores from the other ground, because Saracens getting an early score against Loughborough Lightning. Jess Breach taking the handbrake off and sprinting away for that 5-pointer. Saracens getting their cogs into gear up at kick at Franklin's Gardens. Byrne, Goulden setting the release. The release is great, and Rugman's away. Rugman, good tackle coming in from Brooke Bradley, and the ball is there for her team as well. Great work from the fullback. Rugman, when she's in flight like that, so difficult to stop. Bridger looking to reboot this Gloucester-Hartpury attack. Working it down that left side. Blackburn to below two, trying to make sure that the ball is there for the half-backs cleanly. I think the ball just going forward there from the hands of Sam Monaghan.
It was a lovely break though, wasn't it? When you talk about catch-pass quality, this is it. All right, running straight, putting the ball in front, releasing players.
Sorry.
Oh, it's the right idea to look for that inside pass, you know, because look how many players, Gloucester-Hartpury players are there, but Chiefs shielded that very well. Call it rugby netball, when you get in between the pass and the channel, the player who's got the ball and the player who wants it, and that was really good awareness.
Rugman yet to appear on the international stage. She was in the England training group during the Six Nations, and it would appear to be only a matter of time, you would think, before, well, John Mitchell, can't say Simon Middleton anymore, so I'm sure Mr. Mitchell is watching these games with a lot of interest now as Johnson picks up and drives. Leach. Leach just seems to lead from the front every time, and ever present this season. I think she had one game against Sale Sharks, if I remember rightly, that she started off the bench. Goulden, good take, weighing up what the opportunities are. The kick coming, but the black line moving back, and this is going to be free play for Exeter Chiefs from just inside their own half. Katie Buchanan being taken back by Karen Lake, and I think there's turnover there for the Cherry and Whites. No, it's still there for Exeter.
Really good defence on the edge there by Karen Lake. You know, biding her time, knowing that that fender was coming in. So just waiting to chop that arm down, get in, get the player down. Really good defence.
The Welsh Centre's first start since the 3rd of December against Wasps. Really good to see her getting that double digits on her back. Cozy with another chance as the drums begin to come out. I presume that's drums and not heartbeat. Sam Monahan doing very well there. The release is there for Lillicrap. Gloucester-Hartpury trying to spring a surprise with that unexpected possession. Alex Matthews goes past Zachary. Zachary tries to come back at her. Again, good defence from Brooke Bradley. Blackburn surrounded and gives up the ball. Again, the defence of Exeter Chiefs inside their own 22. They've got numbers out to the left if they can move it. Zachary Jeffries gets the ball through, and here's a chance for Katie Buchanan. Up over halfway. Goulden and co do a job on the Chiefs left winger, but it is still there for the visitors. And as I say, that Poppy Leach just takes her hands off the ball. I think that was Maud Muir coming back, wasn't it?
That all happened so quickly. It was an absolute class tackle. And yeah, I think it was.
Your player shouts at me like that again. Yeah, I'm the wing here. Okay, I will be marching you.
Alex Matthews, here we go. I can honestly say as a fullback, she's probably one of the worst people I would want to see running at me, but bring on Brooke Bradley. I mean, there's got to be at least a foot difference between those players, probably about 20 kg, and yet she absolutely decked her, got her down, slowed up the ball. Really good defence there from Bradley.
Okay, there's a lot of questions.
Bradley making her first start in the 15 shirt. She was at 9 last week against Wasps. But she really has been up to the task when called upon, particularly in defence. Exeter making the most of the slim windows of light that appear in that Cherry and White's defence. And there was the 19-year-old.
No, you take your time.
It was Maud Muir, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what was she doing there?
Working hard. Like all modern front rowers now. Popping up everywhere.
Fun in the sun so far, but maybe not quite so much fun for those in Cherry and White.
Yeah, send her on, mate. Send her on.
Poppy Leach. Still, I think the women's head coach at Exeter University, if I remember rightly. And I think they've done back-to-back championship wins in the Bucks tournament.
Better scrubs, well done.
Into the second quarter of this game. Is that Karen Lake coming off? I think it is, isn't it?
Okay, so Rob.
Oh, that's really frustrating. Wales really missed her when she had her time out from injury during the Six Nations. And really hope that she'd recovered fully and was going to see the season out strong. Let's just hope that this is precautionary.
I think that'll be, is that Mia Venner or Sophie Tandury? I think it's like Mia Venner to me.
Bind! Set!
So an early change for Gloucester-Hartpury. Lillicrap. It is Mia Venner. Just see, guessing that she's going to go to full back, and it will allow Bridger to move out back into midfield, and Lizzie Goulden to step into a familiar position at fly half. Looks to be the case.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Plenty of Chiefs fans made the relatively short journey up the motorway for this one. Good scrum from the home side, really appreciated by the home fans around us.
Collapsed under pressure.
And you see Cecilia Tuipulotu, what an asset she is to this team. Was in the front row last round, but showing her versatility. She's second row as well. Again, she's such fantastic for Sean Lane. He's got so many options. And when you consider as well, Niamh Jones, the Irish hooker, she's on the bench, giving way to Connie Powell. The strength and depth is just incredible.
Kobe struggling there with the weight coming through. Maud Muir and co. Matthews sets the ball up. Connie Powell comes in to steer them all.
Same ball, just
not going anywhere fast. So Blackburn, Bridger in at that first receiver to feed to Tuipulotu. Continuing the work to that left-hand side with Connie Powell, already announced that she'll be in Harlequins colours next season.
No!
Amy Cocaine, of course, is going back to the Midlands. There she is. Again, the breakdown seems to be Exeter Chiefs' domain.
Yeah, really good timing on it as well. They're not going on every ruck. They're waiting to just find that contact that's a little bit on their terms. So not a dominant carry from Gloucester-Hartpury, and more importantly, that second person just not being in the right body position to really seal over. And that's when they're taking their opportunities. So it's patient, but they're choosing the right time.
I thought she was out the way quick enough there, right? You were just slow to arrive, right? Take the end of the line, Gloucester. Take the line on board, please.
Quarter of an hour to go until the turnaround. Very much Exeter Chiefs half, certainly on the scoreboard. Friday takes well, flipped out to Cantona in at fly half. McGovern now will be looking to orchestrate the second phase. Pass not as accurate as they would have liked. Awkward bouncing ball, and in the end the knock-on was inevitable, really.
She just fumbled it into her knees and then she went back to her.
Fractious, wasn't it?
Always the best referees in the stands, right?
Too hot for you, is it?
Always the best referees in the stands. I think one game they ought to bring a whole box of whistles and feed them out into the stands and see what happens.
Let's keep that standard.
Right, scrum put in for Gloucester-Hartpury.
Crouch! Bind!
Yeah, Goulden in at fly half for this.
Set!
So Bridger moves out one. Rachel Lund still in that outside centre role. Here it goes. Then up, coming off to make the extra. Ruckman keeping it alive. Lisa Neumann getting involved there, rucking over, but again at the breakdown there's only one team who seem to be dominant, and they're the team in black. This time it was Katie Buchanan jackling superbly and just not allowing Gloucester-Hartpury to stitch anything together.
No, initially a nice bit of running play from Gloucester-Hartpury. Good pass over the side there, getting to that outside edge, desperately trying to keep it to a line. Bit of a forced offload in a second there. That just means that the contact just isn't on her terms. Though she fell to the ground, perfect position, incredible acrobatics, nearly doing the splits to get over that ball. But yeah, brilliant turnover.
Out.
The Chiefs pack set their stall out from the line out, select forward gear and head towards the Gloucester-Hartpury 22 once again.
What? Moving again.
Robinson, Cantona, McGovern moving out to get the pass away. Bradley just falling just short of the 22, but taken down illegally. So this is free play for Exeter. Leach
No advantage, you're good there. Back
unable to get the ball back, so they will take that penalty call from out wide. And
Slipped up over the shoulder.
bit of concern on the home bench. Certainly not going their way. It's not critical. They know they're going to be at Kingsholm next weekend for another West Country derby with Bristol Bears coming to town. What is the call now? No? McGovern is going to send it to that far side for a line-out opportunity. Two tries in the bag for Exeter Chiefs, and don't forget the bonus point may be very important come the end of play. This time it's gone to Johnson, but a squint throw is going to allow a little bit of relief for the home side.
Scrum. It's just not straight.
Yeah, you do feel that the momentum at the moment is definitely with Chiefs. Yes, they've got the scoreboard, but it's just those defensive wins they're getting, those turnovers, just negating any of Gloucester-Hartpury's play. I can imagine players on the field that they're feeling in control of this. They're going to start enjoying this, and even though they might have lost the ball just there, they're going to bring that defence now and target that turnover.
Half an hour gone on the match clock, and 12 points the difference between these two. Interesting to see how this scrum goes. Jacoby had all sorts of pressures in the last engagement. Seems to be holding her own now as Maud Muir tries to work position. Linda Crapp with the breakaway, the ball goes loose, and suddenly it's Exeter looking to get something from this unexpected opportunity. Guess who? Yeah, Hope Rogers. Hope springs eternal, Hope on the ball. It's moved out quickly. Ball goes loose from Zachary's grasp, and chance for Gloucester-Hartpury to
no advantage, not on.
Maybe, well, draw breath. The speed with which Exeter have that transition, especially when it's unexpected, they're getting back into alignment so quickly.
Yeah, their transitional play from attack to defence is one of the best in the league. And again, look here, we see that defensive pressure flustering Gloucester-Hartpury, turning over that ball with that double hit.
It's a warm day for everybody. Hopefully there's some water for that golden retriever.
Oh, I think these guys are having snacks.
You're lucky. You've got snacks. Yeah, there's an alumni reunion going on here. So plenty of, well, should we say familiar faces. And a good turnout here for the last regular home game of this season. As I say, there's a bit of a breeze at the moment, which should be assisting the Chiefs, and they will maybe want, with that in mind, in the last 9 minutes or so of this game, they may be looking for a little bit extra on that scoreboard.
Okay, all ready? All good, water off? Okay. Right, time on. Crouch. Binds.
Bianca Blackburn with the feed. Her first start since the beginning of March, so opportunity knocks for many in this Gloucester side, but there is one against the head as Johnson barges away up over the gain line. Here comes Rogers again. Quick feed out. Cantona looking for that acute angle to open the door. Vantage call is there. Now another penalty in the 22 for the home side. trying to sniff out this third score.
Hands away, Red! Hands away!
Just short at the moment.
Short! Short!
All the way through right now. Sarah Cox getting into great position, and there is the third try. It can't be, can it? I'm not sure who's going to take that one. It's either Totosi or Rogers, I think.
Yeah, she's getting pats on the back. She's come up with the ball. Yeah, I think it was Hope Rogers again. But that came from defence. You know, really hustling Gloucester-Hartpury and forcing them to give away some penalties. They don't do that often. They've managed to keep the penalty count under 10 for the last 3 games. Is that the one?
So the advantage for the offside
be the next
there.
one.
Okay, so we just
Short
push that
kick.
a little
It's
bit
that
and
one.
the ball on the floor. So we just got to watch those offsides, making sure that
Yeah,
they're
that's the one.
back with it, okay?
Hope Rogers with the double then. Exeter with the trio. A trio of tries that gives them a very dominant look on the scoreboard. McGovern with one of the simplest kicks of the day so far. No problems for her. And it would feel like no problems for the visitors. Now, interesting to see how Sean Lynn reacts with this scoreboard.
It took my head off.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if there's going to be some changes, half-time, freshen things up.
Plenty of experience on the bench. Johnson again.
Tackle, leave it alone, Red. She's annoyed. Let the ball come. Drop back.
Last 5 minutes of the first half.
She's been tackled and then you've ripped the ball.
And again, the penalty count going against the home side at the breakdown. They're not learning the lessons.
To the line. Just on the end.
As we saw at the beginning, 3 points between Exeter Chiefs in second and Saracens in third. So if the victory is achieved here by the Chiefs, they will be welcoming Saracens to Sandy Park. And as Claire Thomas wrote in her excellent piece this morning, neither team have won at the opposition's ground.
You're on feet.
Susie Appleby convinced it doesn't matter where they play, but the Sandy Park noise will have something to say if they're given the opportunity.
Okay.
The opportunity goes away just temporarily, you would think, for Exeter.
Sean Lynn is doing his knots.
Right, straight up.
Language
I'm sure there'll be many of the Gloucester fans here wondering whether the desire is in the group, and it's an understandable human reaction when you know you've topped the table, when you know you've got that home semi-final next week, you even know you're going to be playing. You wonder with a scoreline like that in the first half.
It's an interesting mindset, isn't it? But it's just a sharp contrast for those teams, and I think you've also got to give credit to Exeter and how well they are playing.
Sure.
Because for them, this is imperative that they get the win.
Gordon feeds outside, and suddenly the cherry and whites flood through. Neumann. In fact, I think that's Venner. It's Venner on the charge. Well, at last they do show what they've got. It is Lisa Neumann who's finished that off. And what an individual virtuoso score from the Welsh winger.
Oh, it's so good to see her back herself like that. You know, she is one of the strongest players a real athlete. And to see her have the opportunities, not only use her pace, but if she didn't have that strength of that fence, she would have been tackled, she would have been taken to the deck. What was key is when she made that initial line break, she kept the ball in two hands, which makes you think as a defender, it almost takes your urgency out of the hit because you want to be aware that there might be an offload. So just watch it when she comes through now. There, straight away transfer, look, two hands. So as a defender facing that, you're thinking, where's she going to pass, where's she going to pass? But no, sits the player down. And look at that next player coming in, Nicola Friday. I mean, she is a big, strong player. And Lisa Neumann managed to get around her. Brilliant try.
Goulden adds the extras, and at last the home side are into double figures. They're almost up to half time.
Two remaining.
But yeah, a great score from the Welsh winger. Just her third try of the season. But just take a look at this. Pistol power handoffs. 1, 2. Bradley, who's been so efficient in defence, being swatted away, coming back, but by then it was too late. And Gloucester have got their second try just before half time. Bridger sweeping that left foot through the ball. Here's Bradley. Now, how will Exeter respond? Will they have time to respond before that half time whistle goes?
Come on.
Bradley in at first receiver there. Rogers, Robinson and McGovern combining to try and get Johnson through the gap, edging their way forward. Jacoby.
Tackle!
Bradley. Zachary sliding through the hole. Can anybody stop Kate Zachary? Not on the Gloucester team, they can't. And that is the bonus point try scored by the Chiefs. And we're not up to half time yet.
Oh, that was so good. Big guy for everyone at home watching this. You couldn't see that live because no matter how many times we're going to replay this, it's not going to do it justice. It was a beautiful line of movement, but the timing from Kate Zachary, let's just remind people, she's a number 8. She moved into 13 last year out of necessity because they were missing, Exeter Chiefs were missing so many players. But this year, this is where she spent most of her time. And she is just doing so well. It was a beautiful arcing run, a real weave on it.
Just when I was wondering whether the Chiefs would respond to that Neumann try, there we go. McGovern to add the extras to this very impressive Exeter performance. Unable to bring it round for the first time, but the half-time whistle signals a very, very impressive 40 minutes from the Exeter Chiefs. 41 points on the board in total, 4 tries to 2 though. Exeter in control at the turnaround. The travelling fans enjoying what they've seen so far. Bonus point in the bag before the break. Exeter on their way, it would appear, to a home semi-final next weekend. It's been an American quartet of tries, 2 from Kate Zachary, 2 from that lady Hope Rogers, as Exeter find that cutting edge almost at will, it would appear, with what we've seen, whether it's up tight, close and personal, or out in the wider reaches for Kate Zachary to stride through. It really has been an impressive first half, with that scoreline telling you everything you really need to know. Exeter Chiefs women 29-12 up at the break. Well, let's take a look at the best bits of that first 40, and there's been plenty of them. I don't know whether the half-time break is going to be enough. There's the little kick through from Lizzie Goulden. Almost got her team onto the front foot. And then the break, was it Maud Muir it was, wasn't it? Look at that from a loose head. Shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and that's just what gave them the platform that they'd been missing leading up to that bit of quick front football, which then allowed Bridger to come round the back, look, just sneaking out the back door, and a lovely gap. And we were treated within minutes and thought, okay, this Gloucester-Hartpury team, change as many people as you want because they're still on fire. But then, since then, you have to say Chiefs have been the one that have been firing all the shots. And like you say, the American contingent really putting their hand up.
Within 3 minutes, Exeter responding to the fact that Gloucester, for the first and only time in that half, were in the lead, with Hope Rogers bundling her way over to retake that advantage.
Yeah, you get Hope Rogers in that outside channel, she's gonna score. She's so strong and powerful, but then she's got that footwork as well, you know. She played on the World 7 Series for USA. Like, there aren't many people that can cut it at that level when you come as a forward, as a prop. That's incredible agility and athleticism.
Gloucester had possession and they had territory as well, but this Exeter Chiefs side just making the most of rare opportunity, and it was Kate Zachary. We saw us score that remarkable try at StoneX, didn't we, when she flew over doing a Superwoman impersonation. Well, no problems there. Almost a simple stroll for the USA captain.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes the ball bounces ugly and sometimes it bounces just right. That's a left-footed kick as well. I wonder if she is a left-footer. She's probably not. She's just that skillful.
Knowing Kate Zachary, she can probably kick with both feet or backwards or forwards.
Yeah,
it probably doesn't matter.
To be fair.
And here is the bonus point. The third try for the Chiefs. Forwards rolling up their sleeves, banging at the Gloucester-Hartpury door, and eventually, no surprise really, it was Hope Rogers who was there to finish things off. That was 3 tries in the bag, and here comes the bonus point try. I beg pardon, no, that was Lisa Neumann's try, wasn't it, that came in before Zachary responded.
The fend-off feast.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
No, but that is dreamy, you know. Like you say, Lisa Neumann, she hasn't scored many tries for her club. She's one of those athletes, you know. She ticks every box physically, but doesn't always transfer it onto the field. And to see this, you really hope that this is a sign of more to come from her, because she's got loads of potential, and I'm sure the Welsh management will be looking on and very pleased to see her performing like that.
But Exeter weren't done, because this lady is never going to be out of the spotlight for long. Look at that slalom through the Cherry and White's defence to get the bonus point, get the 4th try in the bag, and just conserve that dominance really on the scoreboard and probably in the minds of the players right now. And that's why there is that 17-point differential for Exeter to play with in the second half. Right, well, that's the highlights from this first half. Let's get some reaction. I'm not sure where Claire is. Claire Thomas, where are you? Throwing down to you in the sun, no doubt.
I absolutely am down in the sun. Everywhere's sunny today, Simon. I'm delighted to say that I've found a pair of studio guests who really need no introduction. They've got 2 of the best smiles and 2 of the highest fantasy values, I reckon, in the game of rugby. They are, of course, Mohan and Claudia MacDonald. Now, quick fire question. Which one of you is least happy to not be playing today? I know you both love being out there.
Well, we're winning, so I'd love to be playing out there.
Yeah, and I'm gutted I'm not out there to help, so to be fair, I think we're in the same boat with that.
Both two people that struggle to be on the sidelines, so much energy. I've been really looking forward to chatting to you, actually. We'll cast our eyes around the grounds because there are some really eye-catching results going on around the Prem 15s, around 18 today, but we've got to start with this one. And Claudia, you can go first because it's your side in the ascendancy. Bonus point wrapped up by half-time. What have you made of it?
Yeah, it's been a hugely strong start for Chiefs. We built a lot of momentum in the last game. I know we played against Wasps, it was a home game off the back of 2 losses, and for that it was just about proving, that we were the team that went into the Six Nations, and that we still had that in the bank, that we still knew how to play, the structures were still in place, we just had to trust the process. I think we've come out today, started that, and it started well, so hopefully we'll go into another second strong half and come out with a win.
We've just used the word hopefully, which brings me nicely onto my second question. Hope Rogers, good grief, she's a couple of weeks off, she's back, and she's a one-woman wrecking ball. How important has she been when it comes to front football today?
Yeah, she's been huge. I mean, I think, get her within 5 metres of the try line, it's always very difficult to stop her. Her body height, her power, her strength. I mean, she surpasses anybody else in the gym at that. So, she's been really good. But, we've got other players there that have been putting us on the front foot as well. Rachel Johnson with some massive carries in particular. I think, full team effort, but it's great to have Hope back in the team and back in squad and fighting again in that Chiefs shirt.
And speaking of fighting, you might have a bit of a fight in your hands to get any sort of backs jersey back, because it seems like Kate Zachary has just got sewn up everything in the back line right now. You train with her, or at least you watch her train week in, week out. She's taken to playing with the speedsters like a duck to water. Where do you think we'll see her settle?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. She's probably one of the fastest people on the pitch, regardless of where she plays. Her work rate and her fitness are just sublime. So she certainly brings the team together and galvanises it just through her ambition and her work rate. So she's an absolute pleasure to play outside of. She's always got your back, and it's hard to make a line break against her anyway.
Isn't it just? Well, it's class 1 to 23 for Exeter. It's also the same for Gloucester-Hartpury, despite all the changes, Mo, but something's not clicking today. What have you made of it from running water?
Yeah, I think it's a hard one. I can hear everything going on the radio, and you've got 3 people playing in the same position from the last week. It's really hard to expect the same quality and the same output from girls that haven't had a lot of game time this season. So it's a great opportunity for us to get people some game time, to get used to those structures. It's going to take time to build that back in, and we're just hoping that with the wind in the second half we can see a little bit more from them.
Well, the wind has made a massive difference. We've seen how well Liv McGovern is kicking. I mean, she's exemplary off the tee, but also ball in hand, her positional kicking's been outstanding. Lizzie Golden, though, when she gets it right with the wind at her back, she's such a threat. And also Sophie Bridger, only her second Prem 15's appearance in a number 10 jersey, but she looks pretty confident out there.
Yeah, no, they are. It's just going back to those processes, though. So we're kicking crossfield and giving Buchanan and people like that time and space on the ball. We need to just be really smart about where we're pinning those kicks to make sure we've got our chases and stuff. It just comes down to the fact that I think the girls haven't had loads of game time. They're doing a great job. It's a 17. Is it 17? Yeah, good maths, quick maths. 17-point game. We haven't had a lot of ball. We've given, I think we're on a 10 penalty count, so that's something that we really need to look after. I think it's 10-1 at the minute in Chiefs' favour, which is just, you can't play rugby when you're up against the referee that much. So loads of little tweaks, and hopefully the girls will come out and just smash it second half.
Going into the Six Nations, both of your sides were sitting pretty at the top of the Prem 15s. I think we all had today inked in as a shootout for first spot in the table, but rounds 15 and 16 incredibly tough for Exeter, despite the narrow margin of those victories and the fact you were on the road to 2 of the best sides in the country. And then Gloucester-Hartpury last week stumbled out of the blocks against Sharks, and today's not quite going your way either. But do you think with the playoffs on the horizon it's vital to be tested like this?
100%. We learnt so much from last week. Sometimes you've just got to win ugly, and that was what last week was about. We forced so many errors, everyone was a little bit off, and I think it was a product of an 11:30 kick-off. Some girls were up at 5 a.m. in the morning. It was also a 6-day turnaround, and that Quins game took so much out of us. There was so much energy that was expended in that game, so it's just about building that momentum. I know that the scoreboard isn't there, but we're still building that momentum. We've had a class week training. There's loads of girls getting minutes under their belt going into the knockout stages, which is hugely important for us as a squad. And this year's been a squad effort. It's been amazing to have so many people pulling that jersey, and it's so fitting that at the last game of the season so many people get that opportunity as well.
100%. Now you're head to toe in Gloucester-Hartpury. You can't move for cherry and white, literally from the scrunchie to the socks. Claude, you're kind of pretending to be Exeter, but really I think you've dressed as a wasp today, and we're going to move over to Twyford Avenue, because hot off the press, Wasps are currently leading Bristol Bears 17 points to 10 at half-time, which is a stunning turn of events given how difficult this season has been for them. After 38 years in top flight rugby, they're actually going to be leaving the Premier 15s next season. And I know that alumni from across the country have made the trip to North London to watch them play this afternoon. Claudia, you know the club incredibly well. What does today mean to them? And goodness me, what would it mean to them if they could get the job done today over Bears?
Yeah, it's enormous. I mean, like that club is such a special place. I mean, it's been a club for so many players. I mean, even so many current Red Roses players played at some point at Wasps. And it's an incredible, that journey, you know, that club's been on an incredible journey. It's been around for such a long time. So I think, you can't underestimate the team that we're going to walk out today. I think there's a few names there that have been playing for a few years. I think Danica Wilmore's come back into the mix, having had a little while out, and she played very well against us last week. I'm sure she's playing very well for them again today. But yeah, I think it's a really sad occasion to see Wasps leaving the Premiership, but hopefully it's not the end, and we'll see them back in however long it takes.
That would be amazing, and I know that DMP is a side close to your heart as well. So can I just get a word on them and everything that they've contributed to the league over the years?
Yeah, again, the year before I joined, you had like Abby Ward, Zoe Allcroft, Katie McLean, Tamara Taylor, like so many names again from the Red Roses that passed through DMP, and it's been a real hub for the North East, and for all of those girls that have gone up to all those universities up there, it's given them like hope, and it's shown them what Premiership rugby looks like in particular. I was lucky enough to play there for a year, and they continue fighting, and you can see the resilience in both the squads, and I think we'll see so many of those players dotted around different Prem clubs in the next few years, which will be exciting.
So that's Twyford Avenue. We can then also bring you up to speed on what's going on at Six Ways, where Harlequins are beating Worcester Warriors in that enormous grudge match to round off their season. Mo, did you wake up this morning even considering the fact that you might play Harlequins in the semi-final?
No, to be honest, the way that everyone's talking about it through, and the fact that like Bristol Bears have rotated their team and gone down to Wasps, and just the sadness that surrounds Wasps at the minute with the amount of girls that have left and what's going on down there, I think a lot of people didn't write them off, but did expect that might be a Bristol win, and fair play to them. I think, like you mentioned, there's a massive alumni event down there. I think loads of the girls are going down after this and just cheering on the pitch and stuff. It's so nice. It actually given me goosebumps talking about it, but the fact that they've been able to put in that performance just shows what rugby's about, and that would be such a fairy tale ending for such an enormous club.
Perfectly put. They have been brilliant at points this year. Liz Craik's emergence as a skipper figure has been absolutely brilliant. That barnstorming break, do you remember the one at Franklin's Gardens?
I don't think anyone can forget it. Scans definitely can't forget it.
Brutal. We've never been able to live that down.
Never, but they have been so entertaining, and all the work that LJ Lewis has done to help them find new clubs next season. They're a brilliant club, and like you said, Claudia, it would be amazing to see them back in the top flight one day. So, okay, semi-finals, they're next week. If, as things stand, we have Exeter at home hosting Saracens, and Saracens are up, 14-17 at Northampton. How do you envision that one going, Claudia? How would you fare against Saracens at home?
I'm a bit superstitious, so I get worried about talking about things that are definitely about to happen. So it's making me nervous that there's another 40 minutes of rugby still to play, and we've got to hold on to this win before we get ahead of ourselves and think about a home semi-final. But having said that, I think I was told at this point in the Premiership nobody's won an away semi-final yet to get through to a Premiership final, and that's a huge stat, for a couple of years. And Saracens are a really big, fierce outfit that know how to win playoffs and know how to win finals. They've proved that they've won all bar one. So I think to face them in a semi-final, we're probably better off than facing them in a final, and to do it at home would be certainly the easiest way to get there and get past them.
What's nice for both of you, though, is that wherever you go, you practically feel like you're at home. This place is rocking today, isn't it?
No, it is. They do really good work with the activation around it. We get so many people in, and we've just kind of built that momentum through. I know that at Exeter Chiefs they get unbelievable crowds, and that's starting to happen across the country now, and we're very fortunate that that's beginning to happen here as well. It's been an absolutely fantastic afternoon so far. This has been my highlight, I've got to say. Lovely to get the thoughts of both of you. Mo, you've got water to run and referees to bark at, no doubt. Very, very opinionated over there from the stands. I can hear all sorts being pelted at the officials out on the pitch. And Claudia, you've got some sun to be catching.
Yeah, some water to drink.
Water to drink and water to run. Thank you both for your time. Cannot wait to see you back out there again soon. And keep your eyes on Prem 15's channels, because it sounds like all sorts is going on. Simon Ward, Philippa Tuttiett, back to you.
Well, great to hear Mo Hunt and Claudia in chat there with Claire. There's the stats from that first half, and probably that doesn't tell the tale, because much as Gloucester have had plenty of ball, they haven't been able to do an awful lot with it, and perhaps the meters made reveals how much Exeter Chiefs have made of their opportunities. There's the scores from around the ground. The most interesting there from all those around here is that one at Franklin's Gardens, with Saracens just leading by the solitary score. Wasps, leading Bristol Bears on their final game in the league for now.
Inside, stop,
Great pick up there from Ailey Sinclair. What a take that was from the Scottish winger. No other changes that I can see to either line up, bar Mia Venner's replacement of Karen Lake in that first half. I'm Simon Ward. Alongside me, Wales former captain Philippa Tarchett. Philippa, I know you were having a chat with your countrywoman earlier on. What, is Karen okay?
Yeah, just popped down to see Karen Lake, because obviously she left the field injured, and she did say it is precautionary, it's her knee, so they're going to get that checked out, but obviously better to be safe than sorry.
For sure. Well, we hope that's nothing too long for the popular Gloucester Centre right now. It's the Exeter Centre, Gabby Cantona, who's muscling her way through, and here come the Chiefs once again. Maisie Allen, been used to scoring tries, of course, throughout this season. Vantage call is there, so free play for Exeter Chiefs. Hope Rogers looking for a hat-trick.
No,
Sarah Cox getting in good position to make the call, but will go back for that penalty call.
It's clearly a hand underneath that.
Yeah, just deemed held up, but because there was penalty advantage, Chiefs keep hold of the ball and get to go again.
Jacoby sent back from whence she came. Gloucester-Hartpury hoping it was going to be a game of two halves, but what we've seen in the opening couple of minutes wouldn't seem to concur with that theory. Quick transfer out. Leach walking into a two-woman cul-de-sac. And there's the finish. Well, they do get reward for their efforts. I think it's Titosi. I think it's the Canadian hooker that's finished that one off.
Great way for the Chiefs to start the second half. You can imagine their half-time chat was pretty short and sweet. Keep doing what you are doing. And they have certainly started the second half in the way that they want to. Just looking so dominant, so in control of this game right now. We did wonder, didn't we, if there were going to be some changes to the Gloucester-Hartpury team, but none at the moment. But I dare say we will see them coming in the next 10 to 20 minutes.
Silly me, it's Hope Rogers. It's a Hope hat-trick, of course it is. How could I ever doubt it?
If in doubt, Rogers.
Rogers gets her personal third try. McGovern, well, she's on song, as are Exeter. The points keep coming for the visitors. 36 of them now.
Callum, can you just ask him what he...
It'll be interesting to see. Well, just as I say that, substitutions begin from the Gloucester bench. Catherine Buggy. Just looking to see, yeah, Connie Powell coming off on this near side, just along the...
Before she's even done it. Tackle!
Looks like, is it going to be an HIA? Or is that a substitution? Connie Powell looks a bit perplexed as she walks in front of us. And still, Exeter keep that flow with ball in hand. They really have been on the front foot so often this afternoon. Jeffries. Jeffries played at 7 last week, at 6 this. Ball comes loose and it's Muir who picks it up and says, anything Hope Rogers can do, I can replicate. Lillicrat the feed. Bridger throws long. Neumann with Vanna outside her. Could be two twins, two peas from the same pod, those two. Winnicrap sets it up as Gloucester work their way up towards the Exeter 22. Lovely offload from Bridger. And this is going to be try time, Gloucester. What a score that was. Tuipulotu finishes things off, but Sophie Bridger take a bow. No question who the architect of that one was for the home side.
Yeah, and that was badly needed, wasn't it? You felt if there'd be one more try now going to the Chiefs' way, that would have killed the game, but this just about keeps it in reach. Nice bit of carrying play. Look, the first time they're getting beyond the gain line, causing that defensive line to work back to get onside. Again, Bridger, she's really putting up her hand. Lovely little slice through. And then that offload.
Well, Maud Muir's day is done, as is Lara Delgado. Front row changes early on in this second half. Looks like Sue Monaghan has come off as well. So we'll see how that steps up in a minute. Good kick from Goulden, so something for the home fans to feast on there.
Yeah, and they needed it, didn't they? Look at that offload in behind the defensive line. But the angle of run, the timing of the run from Cecilia Tuipulotu was absolutely spot on.
So the entire home front row is changed. Looks like Kira Kuhn is on into the engine room.
Absolutely not. Use that ball. Stay there, Rachel.
Replacing her countrywoman there. There's Tuipulotu.
No, thank you.
Has that fired up Gloucester-Hartpury.
Tackle! Balls out. Balls out.
Leach up very, very quickly into the face of the ball carrier, Neve Jones. Now, interesting to see how this scrum sets up. Jones, we know, can play in many a different position. Catherine Buckley's going to go in as hooker. And it looks like Neve Jones is going to go in as loose head, therefore.
Heights and control, please.
With Keris Hale on the other side.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Robinson gets the call over her shoulder from Sinclair.
Tackle!
Good defence from Bridger.
Thank you very much.
Again, Johnson does all the hard yards, doesn't she? May not have the zest that Zachary has, but Johnson does so much of the important dirty work, if you will.
Yeah, she's a ball carrier. You know, route one, you know what you get with her. She always delivers. But it's fantastic. Zachary can be out on that wide channel.
Well, the game that keeps giving. Tries galore. Another chance here. Friday. Felled. But it's still there for her forwards.
Tackle!
Gloucester desperately trying to slow this flow down.
No, don't touch. Don't touch. Red, leave it!
Forwards congregating around the ruck.
Hands away, Red!
Little by little,
Your feet!
they sniff out another try. Good defence from the cheering Whites. And the efforts yield a scrum and a chance for them to catch their breath.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Time
heavy
off.
defensive set.
Send
You
them on,
really
mate.
felt like Chiefs were knocking on the door, some strong carries that they were going to break that
Not just for a
defensive
second, I got
line,
fly
but
in my eye. Can you give me 2 secs?
credit to Hartpury, they stood strong.
Here's the
Absolute
latest
You haven't got some water.
from
Wash my
Franklin's
eye out.
Gardens. They are the England
I think we're
player
clear now,
of the
right. No, that's
season, streaking away to just confirm a little dominance for Saracens. In fact, that's Loughborough coming back, but Saracens hitting back. And Poppy Cleal
Push off your feet.
can't another one you can't keep out of the news for long.
It's disrupting the breakdown, and then once you're out of play, you've just got to leave it. Yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
Just an update from Wembley Stadium.
A touch too much excitement.
It's currently Man City
Yeah.
1,
Yeah.
Man
Not ideal, that one.
United 0.
There was
Man City scored
the try
Absolutely exciting.
for
Okay. Are
Saracens
you
to
reviewing
get
her here as
themselves
well? Just making sure.
back
Yeah.
into the lead. And then Ray Campbell
Right in my
getting
eye.
another one in the bag for the
Good job,
defending
Sonny.
champions.
They looked like they were moving back well on that back foot. From this breakdown stuff.
So Saracens doing everything that they need to do at Franklin's Gardens, but it's kind of irrelevant with the scoreline as it stands here.
I
At the El Pas
I get
Arena.
you're waiting for them to review, but you've also, I take it, having a look now at her. Yeah, but are you looking at her? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, so you're dealing with her and her head as well, and you're just waiting for that to be reviewed as well, okay.
Legs
Simon,
are getting
you
a good
just
tan,
keep
but
an eye
it's
on
a
that
half and
as well.
half version this afternoon by the looks of it. They might need to turn before the end of the match, you think?
I did, yeah, I did. Yep, yeah.
Right, Tupelotu is
So Simon,
We're
they're just
waiting
taking her
for-
off for an HIA, so send the
there's an
replacement.
HIA, we're told, so that'll bring on Maya Leonard, another USA Eagle,
That is
this
showing your
time
age.
in the
That is
Gloucester
showing your
ranks.
age.
Presumably she will go like for like into the engine room. She's had
Cal, are we all done?
2
mate?
starts at Loosehead
Sweet.
and 1 in the second row, so
Okay, time on.
has the feasibility of covering both lines in the pack. She's definitely gone in the second row for this one, so
Right, stand up and
pressure
start again.
on the Gloucester-Hartpury 8 right
Look, I
now.
appreciate we're giving each other tips, but right, let's get our shoulders out. Everyone needs headspace, so let's give it to each other, okay? That includes Gloucester as well. Crouch! Bind! Right. Right, you guys have got to accept the weight. You guys have also got to hold your weights, okay?
Sarah Cox's patience just being tested a little bit with the new ingredients in that front row encounter.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Don't.
White coming through the extra drive and getting the penalty. Well, you suspected with so many changes to that home pack that it would be a real test, and Exeter going quickly. Going back to that short side, Zachary having the door shut firmly in the face, but the ball is still
No,
there.
short! Short, hands out, red! Let it come!
Scrabbling for the ball, trying to ease it over on that far side. Just queuing up, waiting for the next chance to drive and getting the try.
She folded in my side, mate. Straight underneath.
It's Rachel Johnson, the number 8, getting a deserved try reward for all our hard work so far this afternoon.
Yeah, a bit of a stop-start, stagnant bit of play there with the injuries.
Perfect.
But Exeter just kicking off as they left off, converting straight away with some points. You have to feel that's the one that's really going to kill off this game now. 19-41.
Well, the weird stat when preparing for this encounter is that home advantage has never counted since 2020 in this matchup. They've never won at home against each other for so long, and it looks like that trend is going to continue.
But that stat about the semi-final is very interesting. In Allianz Prem history,
Yep.
no away team has ever won that fixture. Home advantage is crucial when it comes to semi-final time. At the moment, Exeter are on the way to get that. Likewise, Gloucester-Hartpury already have that in the bag.
Yep. Very interesting to see how the games play out next weekend. Of course, we know it's going to be Gloucester-Hartpury against Bristol Bears at Kingsholm. It looks like it's going to be Exeter Chiefs against Saracens at Sandy Park. Another change this time. I think Maisie Allen has come off to allow Edel McMahon, girl they call Tricky, to come back on the park. Had that foot injury in the big game against Harlequins at Twickenham. Now a very useful return, good timing for Susie Appleby and Steve Salvin to have another back rower in the mix should she be required. She's going to get the best part of half an hour to show what she can do this afternoon. There's Hope Rogers, we've already seen what she can do. Matthews coming through a little late on McGovern
Just
there.
where
Ref
that ball landed, mate.
in perfect
You
position.
need to either make an attempt to wrap, you've tucked and gone.
No arm in the
Right,
tackle.
you can either have it there or where the ball landed. Yep.
Let's see this back again. So there's Alex Matthews. No wrap.
Mark
is
is
the
here.
first
This is
thing,
where the ball
but
landed.
also
So they had the
ball had
option.
definitely gone. So
You think?
yeah, I can't really stand up.
Not
for
a
Alex Matthews
50-50
on that
call
one.
then?
No, that's not.
Another change as
Alex,
Sylvia Tarani comes on, presumably to replace Hope
What's
Rogers.
right, Simon, your button doesn't work, so you can't send people on when we're setting line-outs up. Callum, please can you help
Looking to
Simon?
see,
His button doesn't work. Are we making subs?
Hat-trick hero Hope Rogers' day is done. What a shift she's put in. Back from suspension with the bang.
Let's help each other out here, lads. Come on.
USA Eagle
Time
doing
off.
everything and more for her team. Can you imagine a team with Hope Rogers and Sarah Byrne in it? The backs just wouldn't bother to play, would they? Because you know where the tries are going to be scored.
20 Gloucester out!
Yeah, very true. Gosh, that would be exciting
Yes,
to
you
see,
did.
wouldn't it?
You
I
wouldn't
told you
play.
3 times.
You'd be on the wing getting cold.
Advantage.
Advantage call again for the visitors. I don't know what the penalty call is, but no question who's had it. Oh, they're unable to get there quickly enough, but it was free play.
Yeah, lovely bit of creativity there. Why not? Like you say, it was free play, so they always getting the ball back if they lost it. It was just a 5 or 6 inches too far in front. Look at this fingertip stuff. Gutted, catching it on the full like that.
I
Step
asked
on
you
the
3 times to
inside.
come out and you
Could have
didn't.
been a lovely one for the highlight reel.
They may not have made the headlines in this game, but I do like the way that Robinson and McGovern work together, direct the right sort of traffic, put them in the right
Ladies,
places, and
your
for the
discipline
most
needs to be
part
better
make the
now.
right calls. You've been impressed?
Yeah, I have, particularly McGovern as well. I really like her kicks in open player. We haven't seen too much of it, 'cause we just haven't needed to. You know, they've got so much dominance with their carry.
Who's captain?
That's why they're keeping the ball in hand. But
Who's
in
captain?
previous games, it's just bringing that extra little dynamic to the way that the Chiefs play. As you know, she's a strong player as well. Good, stands up in defence, solid in that defensive line.
So more advantage, 8 entry.
Again, the penalty goes against Gloucester. I'm kind of amazed we haven't seen any yellow cards yet, really. Such has been the dominance of that
Leave it!
Exeter pack, particularly in the red zone. Friday, rebuffed, sent backwards, but ball's still there for the visitors. Josie unable to find any way through. Friday thinks about the sidestep, thinks the better of it, and takes the contact. No way through for Tarani. Robinson whisks it out to Cantona. Cantona invited to a say-a-vu, which she does. Leach.
Now on ball.
Robinson trying to just bring the odd defender in from around the fringe to make a gap further out. Flo Robinson. Leicester setting their line up. Now it's going to be tested. Ball goes loose. Kick goes.
Number 8.
Well, there is going to be a yellow card. It's going to be Siobhan Lillicrap who is going to be
8.
sitting out the next 10, I think.
There's an accumulation of penalties. You were warned in the first half. It's carried on. That's a side entry.
Takes one for the team in many ways, but
this last one.
the Gloucester-Hartpury number 8 looks on in disbelief as she heads off the pitch.
Entry.
Let's see if we can slow this down now and see this infringement. Like you say, it's one of many. It is a bit of a team. Just lying on the wrong side of the ball, potentially affecting play there. There's been a couple of them.
Sarah Cox has been pretty explicit in her demands, particularly around the breakdown. And
we're just going to stop that because he's still on the
it was seemingly only a matter of time with the way that this second half is playing out. An hour
just an
gone.
accumulation of penalties. That's why she went.
And Sarah Cox explaining to the red and whites an accumulation of penalties led to that yellow card. The take from her opposite number, Rachel Johnson. The drive back's coming in.
Say more.
The ball moves. Referee happy to let it continue. And the try comes as a consequence.
Out we go. No problem. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. Let's go.
I think it's Ebony Jeffries. Let's have a look on the replay. It's in the farthest corner of the pitch, so the most difficult identification. Let's see who takes it here. Jeffries there at the front on the left. Nobody obvious there.
Potentially to Tutsi at the back, so she got it.
You're going to have to help Simon out. The poor thing ain't got a button.
I always feel like watching that is a bit of one of those magic tricks with the balls under the cap, and you've got to try and follow the cup around and find out where the actual ball is. Who's coming up? Who's getting the slap on the bum? Everyone is.
I think we need CSI Hartpury into.
It's a good team try, I'd say.
Yeah, one for the forwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big changes in the Exeter side as McGovern slides another one through. They're heading for the half century, Exeter Chiefs.
Oh, this is really dominant now. This is all Exeter Chiefs game. 1948, Gloucester-Hartpury, player in the bin. And guess when Exeter score their most amount of points? In the last 20.
It's not going to get
any easier, we're just going to start the last 20, yeah.
It's going to be very interesting as well if,
All back,
and there is
all
a
back.
capital I, capital F there, these two meet up in the final in 3 weeks' time.
It'll be a whole different game. A whole different game.
Well, it will, admittedly. I mean, there is 8 different faces to come back into the Gloucester-Hartpury lineup. Cantona, the feed to McGillivray. Johnson again, happy to do the hard yards to get them into the opposition red zone. Leach, the conduit this time, into the final quarter of this game. Seven tries, Exeter running. Now having to go from a little bit deeper. You can see the team that's got the wind in their sails, can't you? Just looking at the contact. Quinn Maloney into the mix, as is Linda van der Velden. Ball goes loose from Jeffries, so that maybe sums up Gloucester-Hartpury's day.
That's all right, don't worry. We'll take time out. She's also just been kicked with a ball. You're all right.
McGillivray on for Kate Zachary, so Zachary's not going to get her
Yes,
triple on this occasion.
We're playing advantage.
A really good bit of footwork
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
evasive skills. Takes 2 players to get it down, and yet she's still in a dominant position. Look, no challenge on that ruck. Exeter easily can shield that one. Same for this, their breakdown work. It's so efficient, always protecting that ball.
Buchanan, just 19 years of age. She's a talent. There's no question about that. I know Susie Appleby is really pleased to see her development, her physicality and her attacking prowess. Means it's only a matter of time, you would think, before she comes on England's radar.
Fine, thank you very
Charlie
much.
Jacobi arrived after the World Cup, of course, formerly of Loughborough Lightnings, but now enjoying time down in the southwest.
I'll give you a mark in a second, right? Just let her get off.
This is a comic moment that,
There you go. All right, time on.
see the reaction on Lizzie Gordon's
Water
face.
off! Water off!
Now, are we back to 15 aside? Looks like Ellie Rugman's going to have to come off following that
Sorted.
inadvertent
Crouch!
ricochet, and she is.
Bind!
So Sophie Tandy
Set!
on.
Yep, that's you.
Matthews. Alex Matthews, one of those dynamic back rowers that never seems to run out of fuel. And to go from deep though, and Exeter just hemming their hosts in and around the 22. Bridger gets her kick away.
Time off.
Another player down. Looks like Sylvia Tirani, the Italian prop.
Of course you can.
Just looking at the Exeter side, I see that Jodie Ownsley, I have to call her former Exeter Chiefs player now, is about to debut as Fury in Gladiators. You would have loved that. You would have loved that opportunity.
Yeah, of course,
God, wouldn't I?
We'll
I
go to
just
the
remember
line-out
loving it
anyway.
as a
We're just
kid
getting that
watching it.
sorted.
Yeah,
I can't
me
remember,
too.
was it before Baywatch or after Baywatch? There was definitely a run as Blind Date,
Yeah.
Baywatch and Gladiators. Misspent youth there.
Right, Loughborough have got on the board once again. Second try for the home side at Franklin's Gardens. It's a tighter contest than we've got here at the Al Pass Arena, by the looks of that.
Okay, she needs to get sorted.
Contestants, you will go on my first whistle.
That's not Scottish enough. You've got to be
It's
more
not-
Scottish.
I can't be Scottish. I struggle to do English. I'm never sure whether they're allowed to do the tomahawk chop now. I get very confused as to what's permittable and not in this PC age we live. I'm sure there'll be plenty of noise at Sandy Park next week, that's for sure.
Squashed between the ground and
Whatever dynamic it comes. Still waiting for Sylvia Tarani to get back to her feet. Just over a quarter of an hour left on this one. We've had 10 tries already. Maud Muir, what a character. Muir and Powell, 2 red roses of course. Muir, a former Wasp, and of course sad to see Wasps and DMP playing their last Allianz Premier 15s clash for now, and I stress that because we don't hope that the future will change. Of course, this is the end of the cycle. We move into a new cycle next season with the introduction of Leicester Tigers.
Exciting, and Ealing Trailfinders.
Okay.
Yep.
Will be headed up by Giselle Mayweather, who's probably got one of these signings, I'd say, already in Abbey Down.
Yeah, that's a rock star in the ranks, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Just build your team around her.
So play back underway. Exeter just working out what they want to do. Into enemy territory they stagger.
Broken away!
Robinson, Cantona, McGovern out one. McGovern just stepping back in, showing good physicality, being an ever-present in this Exeter Chiefs lineup since the Gloucester game in round 1. Of course, there were so many players missing with the World Cup at that point. Bradley, all the way through there, but presentation is good. Jeffries comes on the charge. Again, a penalty against the home side, and the stats
Clearer came in, kick the ball.
pretty damning reading, I would think, for the defence coach for Gloucester-Hartpury.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier in the
can skip
programme,
it backwards,
they've really
you
worked
can't
hard
kick it
on their
out.
penalty
Okay.
count. The past
No,
3
no,
games
no.
have all been
One
under
behind
10 penalties for the entire game. I believe last game they only had 6. So they've been really good, but they've been games where they've been in control and they've been winning. You know, this is the first time in a long time that they've really been put under pressure, and they are starting to creak.
McGovern with her second penalty opportunity in exactly the same position as the first, although up the other end of the field. McGovern, a simple 9-iron. She goes 7 out of 9, and Exeter Chiefs get the half century up on the scoreboard.
Wow, that is a strong score. I mean, when you looked at the team sheets, you would have maybe just edged Exeter Chiefs, but being at home, would that have been enough to get Gloucester-Hartpury through? But I really didn't see it being a 50-pointer.
16 points now from the Kiwi playmaker. Here she is. Jeffries. Another very willing ball carrier, but this time holding on too long for referee's liking.
Yeah, not far off.
It's been uncomfortable viewing for these Gloucester-Hartpury fans near us, but appreciating the situation. What's happening? Now, let's have a look. Looks like Robin Wilkins is going to come on. My guess is for Liv McGovern. That would be a 10 for 10 swap, though of course Wilkins has played in the centres as well, and at fullback, I think.
Yeah, just going to say centre fullback. She's a really good utility player to have on the bench.
Obviously want to make sure McGovern is fit and raring to go for next weekend. Same with Flo Robinson. There is McGovern with the clearance. I think that may be the last action for Liv McGovern. Just looking to see.
10, black.
Yeah, it is going to be like for like. Susie Appleby pulling her prime asset off now
Okay,
to prepare for next weekend.
Well done. Time up.
Oh, she's putting a great shift, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Really cool, calm, composed. Pulled the strings really well.
Yeah, her teammates really appreciating the efforts of Liv McGovern this afternoon. Now has 164 points from her campaign, her first campaign, of course, with the West Country side. Alex Matthews trying to light a fire in this Gloucester-Hartpury team. Bridger, no way through. Good defensive work from Sinclair. Neve Jones. No way through for Keris Hale. You can see that black line working its way up to halfway it goes, forcing the ball carrier to release quickly. Drive for Kira Cooney. Gloucester-Hartpury going from side to side, but unable as yet to make any direct thrust north-south. Still being forced to play in their own half. Cooney can't find her teammate.
All good, play.
Loose ball is picked up and Gloucester have to go from further behind, and Blackburn's kick is hurried.
Advantage, come off, Black. Good turnover, no advantage. Okay, come, just knock on.
Lillicrat back on from her sin bin,
13.
accompanying her Liv Jones.
13, Red.
Good to see her back on the park.
Can we just have a captain, please, mate?
Yeah, Gloucester-Hartpury just compounding errors there. You know, it was a pass to the deck. It was a bit of a forced carry, you know, running too deep. Then the kick clear was skewed. Just can't quite get their flow on this game.
You now my captain. Come on.
Into the final 10 minutes of this game, and Philippa, I'm going to start to get you thinking about who your player of the match might be. I'm guessing it could be somebody in black, but that's not a gimme.
Okay, let's not stop giving advice to people, okay? Right, height, okay? Hit up, hit square with each other. Up. You need to be up, not going down. Yeah?
Let's go, cheese!
Crouch! Bind!
Blackburn with the feed.
Set!
Golden. Ridger, that pass went very forward. Hasn't been picked up though. And again, black defenders coming up in the face of the ball carrier. It's Rachel Johnson again. What a performance it's been for the USA Eagle wearing the number 8 shirt this afternoon.
Yeah, she's been absolutely fantastic. Defensively, she's really stood up. She's pushed players right back. But then, like we mentioned before, in attack, she just always gets you meters forward.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Johnson it is who picks up and explodes around the corner. Glenda van der Velden, the Dutch international, takes Exeter once again into the red zone. The transfer this side, inside Sinclair with a little offload. No way through for Bradley on this occasion, but Exeter keeping that ball alive. Opening up with Cantona. Robinson just brought down short. Now it's out. McGillivray. Robinson thinks she's seen a way through.
Hands away, Reds! Hands away! Ball's coming. Onside. Short! Short!
Jeffries
No,
unable to pick the ball up there, but still, oh, now she's going to get a chance. Van der Velden. Robinson doing the dog and digging it out. The transfer is there, and eventually it's Brooke Bradley who gets the 8th try for the visitors. And the scoreline tells you everything you need to know about this match now. Still 5 minutes to go, but there's only been one team in it.
Yeah, really, from the word go, it's been all Exeter. We've had glimpses of what Gloucester-Hartpury can do, but with so many changes and just up against Exeter, just on fire, incredible intensity of play, they just didn't stand a chance. And 8 tries, I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Congratulations to Bradley. That is her first appearance in the 15 shirt, and in defence in that first half she made 2 or 3 very important saves, and now shows what she's got in attack as well. We know her more as a scrum half. Indeed, she played in the number 9 shirt last weekend, but that flexibility and adaptability is so useful to Susie Appleby as to where she plays and indeed what she covers if she's on the bench too. Gabby Cantona taking over kicking duties. Nice, very nice.
Absolutely not again. Okay, stop your silliness. She's had the same word as well, okay? Enough.
Well, you can see the Gloucester-Hartpury fans around us just going, you just have to tip your hat to a better team
15
this afternoon. It's not the
15.
usual Gloucester-Hartpury that we've seen. Have only lost that one game. Saracens came here, of course, and
All
beat
sorted.
them.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Time on.
Brooke Bradley just limping off in front of me, just as I was praising her. So we will go into the player of the match in just a moment. Much as she may have been in the grid, I suspect she isn't going to get the gold medal, but we'll Find out from Philippa Tutchett, whose check has cleared. Robinson. Cantona moving out with the feed, but the pass just not going two-hand. Right, okay. Who is your Allianz player of the match?
Well, look, to be honest with you, there are many names in this Exeter Chiefs team that could have put this up. But in the way that the team have been controlled today, in a game that could have got a bit individual, it could have got a bit too easy at times for Exeter Chiefs, they remained composed, they remained a team, they were all held together by their fly half, Olivia McGovern. She is absolutely fantastic.
Crouch!
She's a real asset for Exeter Chiefs. And as much as Hope Rogers has scored amazing, Zachary has scored amazing tries, it's all come from the play from Liv McGovern. So absolutely, hats off to you.
And it has been noticeable, I know talking to Susie Appleby through the course of this season, that seems to be the difference that she feels has been most prominent in the Chiefs this season, that they've had a different way of being managed. And I think we've seen it with Flo Robinson as well. She's stepped up with having the Kiwi outside her, and the kicking as well is an added bonus, and it really gives Exeter Chiefs a different feel, I guess, this season.
Yeah, I think previously, they played some lovely rugby, but they would always be a bit too off the cuff. At times you do need someone to put the boot to the ball and get them a bit of structural position, a bit of territory, and she just brings that, but with that classic Southern Hemisphere Kiwi influence, and she wants to turn it on and just play off the cuff.
We haven't had a problem with stability all this game, but now we do, okay?
Last couple of minutes left of this contest.
Keep your height.
Not just the stats may be misleading in terms of possession and to an extent territory, it never has felt like Exeter Chiefs were ever going to lose this. I think Gloucester-Hartpury had the lead once with that Bridger try early on. Bridger, of course, scored the first try at Sandy Park as well. But since then, it's all been about the visitors. Lily Crapp tries to barge her way through. There is Bridger.
Advantage is over.
Just slanting away towards that right touchline, allowing the defenders to just reconvene and adjust. Penalty goes against the visitors though.
8, out the way.
Rachel Johnson, another one of those players that has produced an outstanding performance this afternoon, another USA Eagle by coincidence. Line out not going to plan in any sense of the word. Ebony Jeffries picks up the pieces. Robinson.
That's over.
Clearance is completed.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Well, a beautiful day here in this part of the world. It really has been spectacular conditions, but not the performance that the home fans were hoping for. Everything that the visiting fans were looking for has come to pass. Buggy hits a target, but so allowing Exeter to push that black line up towards the 10-metre line once again. Neve Jones, Keris Hale desperately trying to get them onto the front foot, but such has been the defiance of the Exeter defence, it's been a rarity. Pass over the top to try and get Werner going, but Again, see the ball being wrapped up by black shirts. We're now into last play time. Blackburn and Goulden trying to get things out. No way through for Sophie Tandy. Just see Exeter moving their host back towards halfway once again.
You're pinning her in. Your ball is available.
Just
Leave it
holding
alone.
their line, holding their concentration.
No, off feet, off feet.
Out it goes again down that line again. Is it Neumann? I think Neumann going to find a little bit of feel good. There's going to be a yellow card, I think, here for where that foul was called. There's one of the extra players down, and they're calling out.
Stop.
To
I've got it. She's just been binned. Enough.
I think that is Nancy McGillivray, if numbers are to be believed. It's Cleena Maloney who has got the yellow card. Just looking to see concern for the Hong Kong player McGillivray. I think the slowing down of the ball inside the 22 was more than enough for Sarah Cox, as we see the Welsh winger working her way, slaloming through once again.
Almost looks a little bit of an innocuous collision potentially between the two Chiefs players at the back of the ruck there. She's holding her knee, so it doesn't always have to be a contact, unfortunately, for a knee to go.
For them. She just tackled her.
As we wait for this attention to Nancy McGillivray, I'm just going to ask you for your overall feel now as we move into the knockout stages. You've got Gloucester-Hartpury against Bristol Bears at Kingsholm. You've got Exeter Chiefs against Saracens at Sandy Park. Who do you think will be at Kingsholm for the final?
Oh gosh, it's interesting, isn't it? Well, you have to say all the momentum is with Exeter Chiefs. You know, they've performed fantastically well here. They'll feel confident playing Saris at home. So, do I see them beating Saris? You know, last year's final, when we saw Chiefs against Saris, Chiefs just went into themselves. It was as if they were playing New Zealand All Blacks. They paid them way too much respect. Now, whether that will be a monkey on their back or whether that will give them the fuel to cross over. The experience, yeah. So that's it. I'm hoping for Exeter Chiefs. It would just be good to see a different makeup in the final. So I'm hoping Exeter Chiefs get through that one. But equally, whoever plays the better rugby, I'll be happy.
So are we going to see a repeat of the contestants out here in the final, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this will be a real big wake-up call for Gloucester-Hartpury. I think they'll be looking at themselves. What a brilliant position to know you've already got that home advantage. You're already through to the semi-final, but you've just been humbled. You've just been exposed a little bit.
Keep our heights,
not often do the teams at the very top level get that opportunity to have a real good look at themselves right before one of the most important games of the season.
And who's your pocket money on to be lifting the trophy? Come on, get off the fence.
It's far too much stoppage time for you. You're asking me all the questions here. Oh gosh, who would I put my money on? Gloucester-Hartpury.
Okay. You heard it here first. There's the first pundit to go on one side of the particular fence.
That's either 6 or 5. 6. Number 6.
The sin bin substitution means that Titosi is back on, and I think it's going to be Ebony Jeffries who's going to get an early finish to this one.
Time is on.
Ready to go again. Last play of this match.
Crouch!
The last chance maybe for Gloucester-Hartpury to get a bonus point out of this.
Set! Scrum again. Scrum.
Reset for the final drama.
Get your height.
If drama it can be
Hit up.
called. This game was pretty much,
Crouch.
you felt, sewn up by, well, certainly the beginning of the second half when Rogers went over for a hat-trick. 36-12 at that point, and there didn't seem to be any way that Gloucester-Hartpury were going to derail the Exeter Chiefs Express that we'd seen.
Yes, line. Yes, now.
Lillicrap leaves it for Blackburn. Spun out on the bounce. Good pick up.
Your feet, let go. Ball's there.
Cooney waiting, but it's going to go wider. His next taxi off the rank. Blackburn keeping things moving. Exeter staying fixed to their task right to the death. Bridger, a little show and go.
Tackle!
To no
Offside.
effect on this occasion. Buggy. Oh, the handling just falls foul at the key moment. And it's going to allow Exeter to clear their lines and clear this game with a hugely emphatic performance. We now know who the semi-finalists are and where they're going to play. It's going to be Gloucester-Hartpury against Bristol Bears at Kingsholm. It's going to be Exeter Chiefs against Saracens at Sandy Park. And Susie Appleby's side doing everything that they needed to do this afternoon. We talked, Philippa, about which team had the most desire at the beginning of this, and I think we've got our answer there.
Yeah, I think very clearly we found out Exeter Chiefs, how much this means to them. And they turned up in every facet of the game. Really good performance, entertaining rugby, defence was incredible, and they didn't give up to the dying minutes. Absolutely brilliant.
And to run in 4 tries in each half highlights the impact of their attack and their composure in many ways, because it wasn't all about possession and territory. They had to make the moment count, shall we say, when the ball suddenly appeared.
Yeah, absolutely. They were very clinical off those turnovers that came from that dominant defence. So they've really laid down a marker, you know, and it's enough of a marker to say, okay, we appreciate you maybe we're missing a few players, but we put 58 points on you. Now, are those few players that points difference? We may find out, we may not. They've got to go on to the next hurdle now of trying to take on Sarries.
And of course, having had back-to-back defeats on the road against Bristol Bears and then Saracens, yes, the Wasps win was